So a few weeks ago we were here in this garden making a film about how we created this pond. And I'm really excited to be back here today because today is the day we start to put some of the plants in. Here I've got a selection of plants. Some of them really tick my boxes because they're native. Some of them aren't far from native, they're just a little bit cultivated, like we've got variegated flag iris. Flag iris, you see it all over the countryside, it looks lovely in June, yellow flowers. And then we've also got some of the more proper cultivated pond plants, including, everybody loves a water lily to go right in the middle of the pond. So the first two plants we're going to put in are a couple of Iris Versicolor. Now everyone loves an iris, or at least I certainly do, and these are a stunning bluey purple colour. In fact, they almost look neon. They love it either just in the water's edge or just up out of the water in a wet area. And as you can see here, the soil at the side of the pond's actually quite damp, so popping them here, they're just going to love it. The next thing we're going to pop in is watercress, something you'll probably buy down the supermarket and have it with a nice bit of poached salmon. But it's actually really good growing on the edge of your pond. It'll flower from May through till August, and the pollinators absolutely love those flowers. The next plant we're going to put in is a miniature bulrush. Now, people are quite familiar with bulrushes. They have big tall stems and a sort of giant brown furry thing on the end, for want of a better description. This is just the same plant but a miniature version, and this is going to love it just in the water's edge here. Now we're going to go with Animopsis californica, which is also known as the lizard tail. It's got a really interesting white flower, and it's not too invasive either, so it's just going to fill a nice corner of the shallows just there. So this end of the pond's got a couple of steep shelves. In fact, I'm probably in about 40 centimetres of water here, and I'm right at the edge, and that's absolutely perfect for this water hawthorn, which gets its name from its lovely mat of white flowers on the surface that are not dissimilar to our common hawthorn you'd find in a field hedgerow. And then finally, the jewel in every pond has got to be a water lily, and this one's called Joey Tomic. It likes it in about ½ a metre of water, so just about shorts line, as you can see. I'm just going to drop that right down into the depths there. So there we go, that is the pond planted. Now it's just a case of sitting back and letting it grow. It might not look very spectacular right now, but when we come back in a couple of months' time, it'll be so impressive. Every single one of these plants have gone into the ground within the last 6 months, and they've thrived. Just looking at a few of the plants that we put in, 2 or 3 months ago, and they've really bedded in, they've settled down, and they've started to grow nicely. This watercress here just came in a tiny little pot, and we've popped it in, and now it's sort of ½ a metre across, and it's just starting to get covered in those lovely little white flowers that the pollinators are going to love, and we're heading for autumn. That's fantastic. We've also got the water forget-me-not here. Again, a tiny little P9 pot, a 9 centimetre pot that went in, and it's found its way into the water, and it's now starting to spread. The leaves are popping up above the surface of the water, and we've got the beautiful little forget-me-not flowers coming as well. When we look at the water lily in there, I planted that in about ½ a metre of water, and when I plopped it in, there was absolutely no sign of the foliage at all, and it's quietly found its way to the surface. The lily pads are there now, those iconic lily pads, and just popping up in the middle is the start, the makings of a yellow flower that's just going to come out and bloom and make that central part of the pond just look spectacular. I enjoyed following the progress of this garden from the initial stages where we dug the hole and the pond went in through to what we're looking at now, this established environment. I hope you've taken some inspiration from this, the way that nature's helped us, and maybe it's given you a few ideas of what you can do in your garden. If you'd like any help from us, any questions answering, then please get in touch with the media team at lovegardening.com.